In a land once called holy, a strip of earth barely 40 kilometers long has become the most tragic prison on earth, Gaza. A place where 2 million people are trapped between walls, wars, and hopelessness. But Gaza's story didn't start with Hamas or rockets or even Israel. It began over a century ago with borders drawn by strangers, promises broken by empires, and silence from the world. This is the story of Gaza, the man-made human hell, and the roots of the Palestinian crisis. Before the conflict, before the borders, Palestine was a mosaic, Arabs, Jews, and Christians living under Ottoman rule. It was not perfect, but it was shared. Then came the Great War. The Ottoman Empire collapsed, and the British Empire marched in. With it came new lines on maps and new ambitions. In 1917, the British issued the Balfour Declaration, promising a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. But they had already promised the same land to the Arabs for independence. 2 promises, 1 land. The seed of a century of blood had been planted. After World War II, the world was drowning in guilt over the Holocaust. The new United Nations voted to divide Palestine, 1 state for Jews, 1 for Arabs. But the partition gave 55% of the land to the Jewish minority, and the Arabs refused. War broke out. In 1948, Israel declared independence, and over 750,000 Palestinians were expelled or fled from their homes. Villages were erased, families scattered, and a nation born from another's destruction. The Palestinians call it Nakba, the catastrophe. One of the densest concentrations of refugees fled to a narrow coastal strip by the Mediterranean. That strip became Gaza. From 1948 to 1967, Gaza was under Egyptian administration. It became a refugee zone, crowded, poor, but still connected to the Arab world. Thousands hoped to return home one day, but the return never came. Over time, a generation grew up knowing only camps, fences, and foreign control. In June 1967, Israel fought Egypt, Syria, and Jordan in what became known as the Six-Day War. In less than a week, Israel captured the West Bank, East Jerusalem, the Golan Heights, and the Gaza Strip. Overnight, Gaza became occupied territory. And life under occupation would define generations. For the people of Gaza, occupation meant control over borders, land, and even water. Farmers couldn't farm freely. Fishermen couldn't sail beyond a few miles. Every aspect of life required permission. Resistance grew, and so did despair. In 1987, the people of Gaza and the West Bank rose up. The first Intifada, or Uprising, began not with guns but with stones. A protest against occupation, checkpoints, and humiliation. The world watched and finally began to talk about Palestinian rights. In the chaos, a new group emerged from Gaza's mosques, Hamas. Their message was simple: resistance through religion. Their methods, deadly. In 1993 came a moment of hope. The Oslo Accords promised peace and partial self-rule for Palestinians. The Palestinian Authority was born. Gaza was to be the first piece of the new state. But peace never materialized. Assassinations, bombings, and mistrust tore it apart. By the early 2010s, Oslo was dead and Gaza was burning again. The second Intifada erupted in 2000, bloodier, deadlier, and more desperate. Israel withdrew its settlers from Gaza in 2005, but sealed its borders. Gaza was free, in name only. The Israeli army controlled the air, sea, and every crossing. Then came a political war between Palestinians themselves. In 2006, Hamas won the Palestinian elections. The world refused to recognize them. Civil war erupted between Hamas and Fatah. Hamas took control of Gaza by force. Since then, Gaza has been isolated. Israel calls it a security measure. The UN calls it collective punishment. Electricity for hours, water unfit to drink, unemployment near 50%, and every few years, another war. Operation Cast Lead, Operation Protective Edge, Operation Iron Swords. Different names, same tragedy. Thousands killed, many of them children, whole neighborhoods flattened. Israel says it fights terrorists. The people of Gaza say they are trapped between the bombs and the sea. In this 21st century, a population lives behind walls, drones above, and darkness at night. Gaza is not a battlefield. It's a cage. The crisis in Gaza is not a war. It's the shadow of a century-old wound. The wound of displacement, of empire, of broken promises. Every rocket, every raid, every blockade is a symptom of a disease that began long before 1948. The question is not who started it. The real question is, who will end it? Gaza, a land where children dream under drones, where hope refuses to die even in the rubble. It is a man-made hell. But hell only lasts when heaven forgets to look. Until the world remembers Gaza, the fire will never fade.